Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wingcat Sports and it's Lions postgame. We have about 12 hours past
I went
to
out
get
to
a little
eat
bit of
breakfast
reactions,
today and no one was wearing a Lions jersey.
to give our genuine reaction to it. No, not initial sadness or anger, but initial look at the game. You lost 45-31, and realistically, it's only on one person. And even though Dan Campbell said it was him, we all know it was not Dan Campbell. It goes by the name of Jared Goff. He was the
And he said
sole
that.
reason.
And Jared Gaff said that. He knows.
Sole
Um,
reason. Because he threw 3 interceptions. Very bad. And one TD. He also fumbled the ball once, and JMO threw an interception on a play that was not very good either. But I would say myself that he let up 14 points on his own, which if let's say you don't score more than those 14 points, let's say you didn't score at all out of those 14 anyways, it's still 31-31 at the end of the day if that was the case. So the defense, obviously you should step up a little bit, but at the same time, what are you supposed to do when you get put in those situations where you don't get a break and you're constantly on the field because your offense repeatedly turns over the ball?
and you're still dealing with a lot of injuries on defense. And, uh, you're going to get something great once in a while. Once in a while, Aaron Glenn's going to be able to come up with something like he did with Minnesota. And it was a great game plan. Doesn't always work. Plus, the next team can see what you're going to do.
Yep.
And there isn't much you can do other than blitz a lot. And let's face it, Jaden Daniels is not an ordinary rookie quarterback. That guy is pretty damn good.
The Washington Commanders are a very, very good team, likely to win the East next year. But
they may win it this year.
And this year,
they may win go to the Super Bowl this year.
They might. They're a really good team. And the thing is, it's not even that the Lions were outplayed, right? They had 521 yards of total offense compared to 481 yards of offense. You threw the ball for 320 yards. You rushed the ball for another 200. Your offense played better than their offense. Their defense did not play the greatest, but at the same time, they did not play horrible when you're repeatedly turning the ball over. You had 5 turnovers in total.
When you think about it, and we were talking about this, you scored 31 points, giving up 5 turnovers. That is incredible. That is amazing. And if every one of those turnovers, for the most part, I believe, were going to be points on the board in some way or fashion.
At least a couple of them.
All looked like they were at least going to be field goals or touchdowns, especially the fumble.
Fumble was
you
inside
were going in there. That looked like Washington was not stopping you. And you stopped yourselves with these turnovers.
The fumble was inside the 20. You threw a pick in the end zone. You threw a pick 6. The end of the game one was
7. Right.
The end of the game one was just a throwaway one, but that was also in the end zone. And you just beat yourselves more than Washington beat you. You beat yourself.
Right.
Because you repeatedly made 12 men on the field on a 4th down inside the 5.
Right.
You beat yourself. And this is the kind of stuff, like you have a game like this that's not going to shut up the same old Lions. Because there are people again saying same old Lions. Because what do you do in your biggest moments? You fail. You did it back-to-back years. You had the chance to have a conference championship game at home to give yourself some momentum to go potentially to a Super Bowl, and you failed. Right. And this is why the same old Lions will not die until you actually accomplish something. It doesn't matter how many records you break. Doesn't matter how many division titles you win. You have to make it to a Super Bowl and have consistent success for the same old Lions.
Right. I can't say as much as even my people in my generation are probably the worst for it, that same old Lions thing. What they did to you this year was amazing. It was incredible up till this game. We got entertained for 4 months, and this team, you can't argue with a 15-2 record.
You cannot.
They did it all year long, and then, like I said, they came to the playoffs, and I
Washington was
I
on a
like
roll.
Jared Goff. I don't want to say anything bad against. I'm not one of these people who wants to get rid of him, or thinks that you're certainly probably not going to hear his name chanted for a while.
Thank God, I
But
don't want to hear it at a
right,
rowing game anymore.
right,
Let's stop
and I don't
that.
think he wants to hear it anymore either. It's too much, and this is a team. But Jared Goff, and he knows this, so there's nothing really much to
I'm sure.
condemn. That he has to protect the ball better. You can't. I mean, you're not going to beat a bad team with a
No,
5-0 uh, turnover deficit.
though,
But
they did that against the Texans earlier this year with five
which was
interceptions,
shocking. That's
which is
not going
you
to
got you
happen very
got
often.
lucky. But that's the thing. Your offense is good enough, and
And
the bright side to all this, you're confident in your offense. They're all coming back next year. Like there's
yeah, we're
looking at
not
your free
losing
agents, and
anybody.
we'll
So
get more into a video about that, about all like what next year's looking like, free agents for this year, all that stuff. But the bright side is about 95% of this team is returning
right,
next year. Who are your main playmakers? And there are a few that you're going to look at. The biggest name is Carlton Davis, and whether he's coming back or not. And I'm going to say probably not. Save the money, put it somewhere else, or like for like a trade for Max Crosby or something. But this team is good enough to get you to the playoffs next year. But it's also going to depend on what happens in the offseason because of how next year looks. But we're going to talk about this game again. We'll get to all that stuff in a different video. But Washington's a good team. They're the team I'm now rooting for the NFC.
I'm cheering for Matt
I don't
Stafford.
want Matthew Stafford in another Super Bowl. I want get a new team in there. Washington hasn't been in there
He's
since
our guy.
Washington hasn't been there since '91. And you know what? Let's have every single team in the NFC East reach a Super Bowl before the Cowboys can even reach an NFC Championship game. The Cowboys, not to randomly throw shade at them, haven't reached an NFC Championship game since '95. Every other team has been in an NFC Championship game since then. Sadly.
Well, and if they hire somebody like Deion Sanders, I can't see them making one anytime
But
soon.
I'm
So
saying Washington's winning the East next year. They're good. Jaden Daniels, unless he hits a sophomore slump, is going to continue to play well. He played fantastic in this game. Just to tell you his stats outright, he threw for 300 yards and 2 TDs. He ran for another 51, which is another reason why you struggled. You could not contain Jaden Daniels. When he wanted to run, he ran.
right,
And that is what we said. The main thing you had to do is you had to make him throw the ball. Yes, he had great
and he threw
receivers.
the ball.
He threw the ball. Terry McLaurin
Well,
had
how
a
many
great
bombs
day.
did he complete?
Terry
I
McLaurin had a
4.
great day. He had a 58-yard throw, a 42-yard throw. They had a 35-yard run at one point. They just had big play after big
Yeah, it
play
seemed like
during
every
that game.
drive they threw a bomb and it got connected. Almost
And
every
that
drive.
and that was just the problem. You got outplayed. Jared Goff again. He threw for 313 yards
Right.
in a TD. Like he played well. Teddy Bridgewater had to come in the game because Jared Goff likely got concussed in this game, and it's why he probably sucked for the most part in the second half. But he didn't play well in the first half either. But he got rocked on that pick six, and he probably got a concussion off of that, and he just played through it for the rest of the day. But like Gibbs, he was averaging 7.5 yards per carry. Why weren't you using him more? Why weren't you mixing up David Montgomery and Gibbs more to get you momentum, knowing Goff was struggling all day to throw the ball?
They were put in passing situations, though. I mean, I don't really care without the usage because, like, I just think, like I said, Goff has got to be. I mean, you got to protect the ball better, a lot better. And we go up 14-3, might be a totally different game. Might be a totally different mindset.
It was, and that building, as much as because I went to the game yesterday, as much as it sucked, that building was like the energy got taken out of it. By the time the fourth quarter happened, they're like, "Yeah, let's be loud, third down." Everyone's like, "Yeah, whatever." At
Right.
this point, by halfway through the fourth quarter, people were leaving early. They gave up. I mean, I was kind of
It's
done.
incredibly disappointing because no matter what fan base you are, and we're new to it, they pump these people up. These people think there's no way they're going to lose. All week long, I was listening to people like Woodward Sports tell you, Oh my God! They
You were
just said that
favored by
Washington
9.5.
Washington has no chance at all, none at all, and it's just bullshit because you can lose to anybody, especially in the playoffs. And you could see this coming to a certain point if things happen kind of the way they did. No one can predict what Goff did though. No one can predict a
No,
5-0
no one thought that would
turnover
be the problem
differential.
because
And
again,
that's the reason. That is I guarantee, like I said, if he protects the ball, even if you give up only that fumble
let's take
or
that. Let's
something,
let's take that fumble back right there. Right, that is 7 points or whatever added to the Lions
right,
score. You're at 38-45. You're playing that last 5 minutes differently than
right,
you were.
right. And even then, they don't score. They went down and scored on that fumble. You don't know the mindset. It changes. The whole atmosphere
I
changes.
believe
You
the
get
Commanders only punted twice
right. The
out of the
defense
whole
sucked,
entire day.
and but I don't think we punted
Once,
much. How
my
much did
bad.
we punch?
They punted
How
once
many
the whole
times did
entire
we
day.
punt?
So there's that. The Lions defense was not fully doing it. And Jake Fox, he only kicked once.
Once. Right. The Washington defense wasn't any better, if not worse. The fact that we scored 31 points and give the ball up 5 times and gave them 7 points,
Washington
to tell
had
you
the
that game was not a blowout. That we
beat ourselves.
beat ourselves.
And that's all you
Not
have
to
say.
take anything away from Washington because they're very, very good. They capitalized on every penalty almost, I think.
Yep.
Or every turnover.
You have 5 penalties for 30 yards. It wasn't even that bad. You didn't make bad mistakes penalty-wise besides that 12th guy on that 4th down. And again, if you would have stopped him, there's another 7 points
right.
potentially right there. 4th down, you stop him. Now it's 38-31, and you have the whole field to go. But instead, stupid mistakes. It's how you lost to Tampa. It's how you lost to Buffalo. And it's how you lose to Washington this week.
Right.
And it is what it is. You have an early off season. You get a little bit earlier of a draft pick than we thought.
And I'm hoping.
And there you go.
Right. And I'm hoping that we go, as a fan base, we go into next year a little smarter.
And say bye to all the bandwagons.
Hey, you want to know what? If the Lions want to try to
trade for Max Crosby,
financially screw us over, we don't go to the game. I mean, unless you can afford it. Don't act like, like I said, don't fall for the hype. We're a good team. Our window is still open. It's closing, but it's open to win a Super Bowl. But so many factors play into that. Injuries.
We still have this year. Mick Robinson broke his elbow in this game. He broke his arm. Humorous. Right. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Your whole defense was gone. People will say it's not an excuse. So literally, your whole starting defense was gone.
These seasons are so long. It's almost
and they want to add
impossible.
an 18th game now. So
they want to what?
Add an 18th game.
They're insane. They're insane.
But get rid of a preseason game. They're going to get rid of.
Off.
They're going to get rid of a preseason game. Potentially add another regular season.
Why even have preseason then? Why just have a long practice and they can determine who their better players are? And I don't even know why you even have preseason.
But we'll end it here. Again, sad day as a Lions fan. Sad day as a Detroit sports fan. All 3 Detroit sports teams lost yesterday. Sad day. But, we keep moving on. It's not like we're not used to the Lions losing anyways. And, we keep going. With all that being said, though, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the game. Who you want to win at this point. And until next time, we'll see everybody soon.